Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of TMF. I am frothing today for episode 9 because we've got Vaughan Blakey on the show.
Yeah, Tyson, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good. So, what brings you to Lennox Head today?
Well, I am up here partly for the school holidays, but mostly for the skull candy. Osgrom Open.
So the waves are cooking today, aren't they?
Waves are absolutely cooking. All week's been insane, mate. You must be tripping out. How sick is this joint?
The point was pumping this morning.
Did you get some?
So good.
See any superstars out there?
Yeah, Reef Hazelwood.
Sick.
So let's get straight to the questions.
Alright.
So Vaughan, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a town called Narrabeen. That's actually where I did grow up originally. Yeah. And I made best friends on the first day of school with a guy called Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ended up being Aussie, right?
Everyone knows Ozzy.
Everyone knows Ozzy. And so I stayed there till I was about 9 years old, and then I moved up here to a place called New Brighton, which is basically about 20 minutes north of Byron Bay.
Yeah.
And it's a really long stretch of beach.
Yeah.
And myself and my brother, Ronnie, and our mum got a little place there, and we were just surf fanatics, man. We just would froth so hard. Like my bedroom was just covered in ripped up surf mags, and we'd get up in the morning, go to the beach in the dark, light a fire in the dunes, which
awesome.
A bit naughty, hanging out in the dunes, but back then it wasn't a big problem. And then we'd just wait for it to just get light enough, and we'd paddle out.
Froth out.
No matter what it was doing. It was onshore or offshore or 10 foot or 1 foot, we were just out there. And I don't reckon I do that anymore because I'm way too scared of sharks now that I'm older.
So, growing up for the teenage years of your life on the North Coast, what were some of your favourite point breaks to surf up here?
Well, easily the pass.
Yeah.
Because the pass, when you're a grommet, it's kind of a place where you can catch whitewash and then sort of drift out onto the green water. And I got my first tube out there that I made just off spectators there, and so that was almost my favourite. And then as I got a bit older, you start to sort of grow into the different points, because Lennox is a lot more challenging, harder to get off the rocks, harder to get in, and holds bigger swell. And
you were the head author of Surfing World magazine.
That's right.
How did you come to that?
So this is cool, man, because what happened was I was in year 10 and I was going to do work experience at a surfboard factory, just sweeping out the foam.
Yeah.
Because basically all my mates did that before me, and 2 weeks off, working with surfboards, maybe getting a surf in here or there, felt like that was going to be a cool way to spend my time.
Yeah.
But then my careers advisor said to me, why don't you try and do something that you actually want to do with your life? Because if you get your foot in the door, you might open up all these possibilities. Yeah, exactly. And he said that in class, and I looked down at my bag and I had a Tracks mag sticking out, and I thought, I'm going to go and do work experience in Tracks magazine. So I just loved it. I was couldn't wait. I was like one of those kids who fanged down to the shops, and because before the internet, that was the only way we could get surf.
To look into the surfing world.
That's it, man. If you wanted to know comp results, if you wanted to know who was ripping, everything came through surf mags, because you couldn't even get surfing on TV back then. So there was no internet. And so basically I just went, yeah, I'll do it there. And I just called them up, and they said, yeah, come down. And I spent 2 weeks doing work experience. And at the end of that 2 weeks, I got a feeling I was a bit like you as a grom. I just sort of made my own good fortune by being a frother. Yeah. They couldn't believe it, man. They were just like, this kid is nuts. All he does is talk in surf captions. He's a lunatic.
And look, you're still doing it today at the comp all day.
That's it, man. They offered me a job before I even finished school. I left school and went down and started working on surf mags. Worked on Tracks magazine first, then I was the editor of Waves when I was 19 years old. So I was running one of the biggest surf mags in the country when I was 19. And then, I had a little break after 10 years of doing that. Went travelling around the world and surfing all the places that I'd always wanted to surf. Yeah. And then I took the job at Surfing World, and I was there for 10 years. So it was cool.
So at Surfing World, it was a very famous magazine.
Yeah.
What were some of your favourite covers or magazines that you wrote?
Oh man, what a good question. High five on that one. My favourite magazines were ones that sort of really earmarked one moment in time. So you might or might not be familiar with Midget Farrelly.
Yeah, he lived at Palm Beach, which
is right. Yeah, he was the very first ever world champion, official. So
Australian.
He was Australian,
Yeah.
and yeah, so he won the first world titles in Manly Beach in 1964. And when he passed away, we thought that was worthy of dedicating an entire mag to, and so we did that. But then with Surfing World, we were also able to do a lot of, have a lot of freedom and just do whatever we wanted. And so some issues were just totally dedicated to one trip with a bunch of grommets.
About to go ambush Caleb and Vaughan.
10 points if you get it.
So does that...
Hey, here's your smelly wetsuit, dude.
Which you would have just been so frothing on if you come on, mate. It's so good.
I've
Talking about the whole mag, just 4 kids. It was so good.
I've had a subscription to Surfing World for 4 or 5 years, and I've got hundreds of mags.
Yeah.
And my favourite ones were those Grom trips. So leaving Surfing World, where you were there for 10 years, where did you progress to after that? So what are you doing now?
So now, you're going to hate me for this because my job is basically going on the search with Mick Fanning and Mason Ho and directing films of those two guys surfing and hanging out. And it's basically a lot of fun.
I saw your South Africa one.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Loved it.
Knuckles. So that's one part of my job. I get around doing commentary as well. Commentated the Stab High over in the Texas Wave Pool. Got to have a go in there.
Oh.
You've got to get over there, mate. It's
That
incredible.
was amazing. Do you boost
So
already?
fun. Yeah. I threw a few. I borrowed a board off Noah Dean, and he's about my weight and height, and so it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Managed to work it out, but you would lose it. You would dead set lose it. It's the most perfect ramp ever.
I don't think anyone can get as technical as Noah Dean and Chipper though with those big spins.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Are you into are you into sort of rotations, or do you like the actual skate style airs where you're sort of flattening out or boning it or corking it or whatever?
I like a bit of both, but the air that I really enjoyed watching was Karen Capel straight air with the tweaked out
Big
tail.
time. Right.
Back leg, just flatten out on this. Just tabletops it. Oh my gosh!
Right.
That was
You and me are on the same program, bro.
Yeah.
Like that stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's very
And
cool.
they were talking about it. A skater comes out here and shows some of the tricks he's got in the bag from the bowl. And you were also in a band with Ozzy and a few others.
Yeah,
Called Goons of Doom.
that's right.
Awesome stuff.
You're not old enough to listen to our records yet.
No, I've listened to a few. They're
I'm gonna have to talk to your mum about this. Not good.
great. The best song I liked was For a Girl.
Oh yeah.
In the car. That was a good one.
Well, I may not lift a finger, I'll gladly lift a leg. And I may not earn no money, but I ain't too proud to beg. It's the way I always been.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the swearing in our band songs. But yeah, if they're all nothing in our music. I will say this about it is mean.
No.
Like, there's no tear downs. There's
Just having a
nothing.
good time.
Yeah, there's nothing dangerous. It's all
No.
just silly, ridiculous. But basically, none of us could play instruments until we were 28.
Or the slapper. What about that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. That
Yeah.
one actually doesn't have swearing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a bad one. Yeah, I reckon a little bit older. We've got a lot of adult content in our songs, just
Yeah.
because we're just basically big kids who like being naughty, but in a good way, harmless way.
So with the band,
Mm-hmm.
what instrument do you play in?
I play guitar and bass, and we all swap things around.
Yeah.
And it's basically like you said, it's just an excuse to just hang out with your best friends forever.
And
Because
jam
as you
together.
get older, sometimes hanging out with your buddies gets harder and harder. Basically, once you're part of a music scene, there's so many people trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
And things are going off everywhere, all around you all the time. But you get to be a part of a community that isn't really different to the surf community, mate. Like, you turn up to the comps, you see the same mums and dads, you start getting to know all the crew who are surfing in your heats. And the music industry, one thing we found out about it was it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's a small world once you're in it.
So I personally play guitar, and hitting a solo on my electric guitar feels the same as doing a big hack.
Sick, man.
I used to get the same.
Do you shred or do you just like do you noodle?
Well, I do a bit of both, but I probably like shredding my electric more than noodling on the acoustic. Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah. On recently, or I don't know how recent, you have your podcast, Ain't That Swell?
Yeah.
With Bainey and a few others.
That's right.
Where did the idea of that come from?
Well, basically it was, I don't know, Jed Smith, the guy who is the host of the podcast Ain't That Swell. He's a surf journalist, has been for a long, long time, and he's just always sort of fishing out new ideas and new media and sort of figuring out ways where he can get in there and just explore it for no other reason than you're doing this. Just as something to do and
more
something
content for people to listen on this.
Yeah, maybe, but like, I mean, for you personally, this is something that's like, you get a lot of satisfaction out of because you're learning a lot as you go, and I'm sure your episodes are getting better and better and better.
Definitely. In the first episode.
Especially with this episode, right? Best one yet?
Definitely.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of talk.
So, I think that Jed just wanted to basically get into this podcast world that was just sort of bubbling into recognition. And since then, we've done so many episodes. We just get together, talk surf, and like, I'd say in about, how old are you, did you say? 14. Yeah, in about 4 years, you'll be allowed to listen to Ain't That Swell, because, again, it's a bit AO.
You've been very accomplished in your surf career.
Thanks,
with
mate.
Your podcast, your band, your mag. What are some of your future plans or things that you want to do?
I feel like I'm talking to my mum now. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you leave the mag? I just want to...
Obviously the search.
The search is the biggest one at the moment, because getting to go on surf trips with Mick Fanning and Mason Ho is like a dream come true for anyone. I mean, I'm just...
Mason Ho's the most exciting surfer
Dude, how good
out
is he?
there.
How good is he? So yeah, I just finished a movie. I can give you a little sneak peek of that in a sec if you like.
Ooh, sneak peek.
And I think at the moment, mate, I'm just trying to surf more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the wheels are in motion where I've done 20 years of making magazines, 20 years of making surf movies, 20 years of doing a whole bunch of other stuff, and I can kind of pick and choose jobs that I like.
Yeah.
I don't have to do the Skull Candy Osgrom Open, but I like to do it because I like seeing guys like you get out there, and I want to see who's going to be the next generation of shredders, because I'm just a surf fan, man. I'm just like you.
International shredders.
That's it. And it's really good when you see these guys start surfing in the World Juniors or on the QS that you can go, oh, I saw that kid when he was 13.
What kind of boards do you like to ride when you're surfing?
Good question, man.
Because I've seen you on a few different crafts.
Yeah. I like 5'3" twin fins, and I'm 6'5", so I get a lot of weird looks. Even in this day and age where pretty much any craft that you ride, people are riding softies and finless, people still trip out that a guy my size is on such tiny boards.
Yeah, I know how you feel, because sometimes I'll go out at Crescent Head Point on my brother's bodyboard and just surf it and spin around.
How fun is it?
Everyone looks at you like, what are you doing? And then next minute you're on the inside of them calling them off, doing a carving 360 over their head.
Exactly, man. I reckon, like, Crescent Head Point's one of my favourite waves too, because there's no real alpha male pecking order out there.
Yeah.
Like, you see every type of surfer. You see octogenarians,
guys like Dan
older
Johnson,
crew. You see Danny Johnson out there
riding the Elia.
Yeah, and he'll go out on 8 different boards in one surf. Then you've got like mums, sisters, like heaps of women in the lineup. And then you've got kids learning on the inside. It's just the full gamut of every single person who loves surfing, and everyone out there is smiling. It's pretty rare to have a jerk
a long,
out there.
perfect right-hand point.
With enough good sections to shred on and enough good sections to cruise on.
Anyway, thanks for being on today's episode.
Highlight of my life, bro.
Oh,
did a great job too.
Yeah.
Coming from someone who interviews a lot of people, you killed it.
Well, you've got a lot of content and topics to talk about with you, Vaughan, because you're very accomplished with all your different things.
Cheers.
So it's great talking with you about it.
Thank you.
And you probably have to get back to the commentating booth at the Skull Can.
Yeah, I probably should. I will. But thanks for having me on the show, man. I'm really stoked on what you're doing, and this is a new media that I really don't know a whole lot about, and I'm stoked to see you leading the way, so best of luck with it all.
See ya.
See you, brother.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.